declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, before we proceed, we'd just like to greet our distinguished colleague, former Senate President Pro Tem and the Tita Ganda of the Senate, Mr. President, Senator Lauren Legarda. A very happy birthday, Mr. President. May I ask for a minute suspension?
The session is suspended.
Mr. President, before we take up official matters, I'd just like to make an apology. I'd just like to apologize to my two colleagues, Senator Bato de la Rosa and Senator Joel Villanueva. Yesterday, when we replaced their seats, they were members of the ethics panel, and Senator Allen passed me a note to replace them with, I think, Senator Marcoleta and Senator Marcos. I had misspoke, and I said that it's possible because of a conflict of interest that they might have cases. I want to put on record the two gentlemen have no cases in the Ethics Committee whatsoever, and I apologize, and I'm sorry, Mr. President.
All right, we place that on record. Majority Leader, you proceed with the journal.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 38th session, Tuesday, January 27, 2026, and consider the same as approved.
Any objection? Hearing none, the journal's approved.
Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Resolutions. Concurrent Resolution Number 8, adopting the National Education and Workforce Development Plan 2026 to 2035 and recommendations of the Second Congressional Commission on Education as the 10-year policy framework of the national government by Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Resolution Number 257, directing the Senate Committee on Tourism to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan in assessing the readiness of the Philippine tourism infrastructure and its impact on domestic travel by Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committee on Tourism.
258, resolution directing the appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the proliferation of SMS scams, online scam calls, and URL-based scams with the end in view of strengthening the implementation of related laws and their enforcement by Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to Committees on Public Services and Banks.
259, resolution nominating the late Rodolfo Dolphy V. Quezon Sr. for posthumous conferment of the Order of National Artists of Philippines for his outstanding and enduring contributions to Philippine arts and culture by Senator Padilla.
Referred to Committee on Rules.
260, commending Ronald L. Gadayan, a maintenance crew member at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 2, for his consistent and exemplary honesty, having been cited several times for upright conduct in the performance of his duties by Senator Padilla.
The Committee on Rules.
261, commending and congratulating the Filipino athletes and national team for winning medals and participating at the 2025 Southeast Asian Games and for bringing honor, pride, and inspiration to Filipino people by Senator Tulfo E.
The Committee on Rules.
262, expressing highest commendation and gratitude to the Senate Secretary Renato N. Bantug Jr. for his dedicated service to the Senate of the Philippines by Senator Zubiri.
To the Committee on Rules.
263, congratulating and commending the Philippine delegation to the 13th ASEAN Para Games for achieving the country's best ever medal haul and for bringing honor and pride to the Filipino by Senator Lapid.
The Committee on Rules.
264, congratulating and commending the 2025 the Outstanding Filipino TOEFL Awards honorees for their exemplary achievements, integrity, and service to the nation by Senator Lapid.
To the Committee on Rules.
265, congratulating and commending the Philippine delegation for its outstanding performance in the 33rd Southeast Asian Games held in Thailand from 9 to 20 of December 2025 by Senator Lapid.
To the Committee on Rules.
266, resolution directing the appropriate Senate committees to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the sinking of the passenger ferry MV Trisha Kirsten 3 off the waters of Basilan Province, resulting in the death of at least 18 persons, with the end in view of strengthening maritime safety laws, ensuring accountability, and preventing similar disasters, by Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committee on Public Services.
267, expressing the sense of the Senate on standards governing public communications affecting the conduct of foreign relations and affirming the mandate of the Department of Foreign Affairs as the lead agency in the implementation of the country's foreign policy, by Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Rules.
268, congratulating and commending the Philippine team for their outstanding performance at the 13 ASEAN Para Games, marking the country's first showing in the Biennial Regional Competition, by Senator Villanueva.
To the Committee on Rules.
269, urging the committees on migrant workers and labor, employment and human resource development to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the prevalence of bogus overseas job offerings victimizing Filipinos, by Senator Villar C.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers and Labor.
270, urging the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the state of Philippine cinema, by Senator Villar C.
To the Committee on Public Information.
271, urging the Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality to investigate in aid of legislation on the recently reported situation of Filipino pregnant women being lured by abortion services online, by Senator Villar C.
To the Committee on Women.
272, urging the Committee on Agriculture to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the Philippine poultry industry to create a sector that protects local producers, ensures fair market practices, and benefit local consumers, by Senator Villar C.
To the Committee on Agriculture.
273, commending and congratulating the members of the Philippine delegation who have competed and won medals, placing the country as the 4th overall champion in the 13th ASEAN Para Games held in Thailand, by Senator Go.
To the Committee on Rules. We have additional reference of business. You may proceed.
Additional reference of business, messages from the House of Representatives, letter from House of Representatives informing the Senate that on December 16, 2025, it passed the following House bills in which it requests the concurrence of the Senate. House Bill number 6428, an act providing for the inclusion of the regular campuses of the Capiz State University into its university charter.
Referred to the Committee on Higher Education.
6644, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Matthew James Ramos.
Referred to the Committee on Justice.
6641, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Elizabeth Janet Means.
To the Committee on Justice.
6640, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Maudo Diof.
To the Committee on Justice.
6639, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Benny Francois Boitwright III.
To the Committee on Justice.
6429, an act extending the duration of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, amending for the purpose RA number 11899, otherwise known as the Second Congressional Commission on Education Act.
To the Archives.
994, an act declaring the province of Ilocos Norte as the garlic capital of the Philippines.
To the Committee on Agriculture.
6762, an act establishing a framework for blue economy, promoting stewardship and sustainable development of coastal and marine ecosystem and resources.
To the Committees on Economic Affairs, Environment, and Finance.
6739, an act converting the Dr. Eva Macaraeg Macapagal National Center for Geriatric Health under the Jose R. Reyes Memorial Medical Center as the Dr. Eva Macaraeg Macapagal National Center for Geriatric Health and Research Institute, defining its powers and functions and appropriating funds therefore.
To the Committees on Health, Ways and Means, and Finance.
6738, an act further amending RA number 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994 as amended by RA number 9293.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Finance.
6683, an act regulating the use of treatment technology for municipal and hazardous waste, repealing for the purpose Section 20 of RA number 8749 entitled the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999.
To the Committees on Environment and Ways and Means.
6643, an act establishing a comprehensive, integrated, and sustainable reintegration program for overseas Filipino workers.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers and Finance.
6636, an act institutionalizing the assistance to individuals in crisis situations, program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, providing penalties for the violation of certain unlawful acts and appropriating funds therefore.
To To the Committees on Social Justice and Finance.
6615, an act regulating the planning, design, construction, occupancy, maintenance, and demolition of buildings, promoting building resilience against earthquake, fire, flood, landslide, storm, volcanic eruption, and multiple hazards within an all-hazards approach to resilience building, enacting a new Philippine Building Act, repealing for the purpose RA number 6541, entitled An Act to Ordain and Institute a National Building Code of the Philippines, and Presidential Decree number 1096, otherwise known as the National Building Code of the Philippines.
To the Committees on Public Works and Finance.
6614, an act further extending the period of availment of the estate tax amnesty, amending for the purpose sections 4, 6, and 8 of RA number 11213, otherwise known as the Tax Amnesty Act, as amended.
Referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that on December 22, 2025, it passed the following House bills in which it requests the concurrence of the Senate. House Bill 6642, an act establishing in the Municipality of Tigaon, Province of Camarines Sur, a basic comprehensive multi-specialty center under the Bicol Medical Center to be known as the Partido Multi-Specialty Center, and appropriating funds therefore.
To the Committees on Health and Finance.
6796, an act renaming the Conor District Hospital in the Municipality of Conor, Province of Apayao to Apayao General Hospital and Medical Center.
To the Committee on Health.
6797, an act renaming the Far North Luzon General Hospital and Training Center in the Municipality of Luna, Province of Apayao to Elias K. Bulot Sr. General Hospital and Medical Center.
To the Committee on Health.
6706, an act promoting transparent governance and instituting anti-corruption mechanisms in the operation of banks, amending for the purpose RA number 1405, entitled An Act Prohibiting Disclosure of or Inquiry into Deposits with Any Banking Institution and Providing Penalty therefore.
To the Committee on Banks.
6789, an act establishing the National Framework for Water Resource Management and creating the Department of Water Resources and the Water Regulatory Commission, defining their mandates, powers, and functions, and appropriating funds therefore.
To the Committees on Public Services, Civil Service, Ways and Means, and Finance.
22, an act providing for cheaper and more accessible internet for all.
To the Committees on Public Services and Science and Technology.
178, an act mandating public telecommunications entities and internet service providers to institute an automatic refund mechanism for service outages and disruption, providing penalties for violations thereof.
To the Committee on Public Services.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that on December 17, 2025, it adopted House Concurrent Resolution Number 9, reconstituting the Philippine Congress Bangsamoro Parliament Forum pursuant to Article 6, Section 3 of RA Number 11054, or the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, in which it requests the concurrence of the Senate.
To the Archives.
Letter from the House of Representatives that on December 22, it designated the following as members of the House panel in the Philippine Congress Bangsamoro Parliament Forum as chairperson, Representative Adyong as members, Representative Balingdong, Hernandez, Arbison Jr., and Flores.
To the Archives.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing that on December 2025, it adopted Senate Resolution Number 1483 as an amendment to House Bill Number 6429, entitled An Act Extending the Duration of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, amending for the purpose RA Number 11899, otherwise known as the Second Congressional Commission on Education Act.
To the Archives.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing that on December 2025, it approved the motion amending anew the legislative calendar for the first regular session of the 20th Congress, particularly on the resumption of session from December 22, 2025 to December 29, 2025, and on the adjournment of session from December 23, 2025 to December 30, 2025.
To the Archives.
Letter from the House of Representatives that informing that on December 29, 2025, it ratified the Conference Committee report on the disagreeing votes of House Bill Number 4058, entitled An Act Appropriating Funds for the Operation of the Government of the Republic of the Philippines from January 1 to December 31 to 2026.
To the Archives.
Bills on first reading. Senate Bill Number 1672, an act mandating public telecommunication entities and internet service providers to institute an automatic refund mechanism for service outages and disruptions, providing penalties therefore by Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committee on Public Services.
1673, an act ensuring the safety and protection of children while on vacation, engaging in leisure or participating in any other activities related to tourism industry and for other purposes by Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Women and Tourism.
1674, an act further strengthening the Anti-Money Laundering Council, amending for the purpose RA number 9160, otherwise known as the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001 as amended by Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Banks, Justice, and Finance.
1675, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Liping Zeng by Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committee on Rules.
1676, an act reorganizing the Women and Children Protection Center of the Philippine National Police into Women and Children Protection Group, defining its functions, structure, and appropriating funds therefore by Senator Aquino.
To the Committees on Public Order, Women, and Finance.
1677, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Alexia Melanie Blanco Liacuno by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1678, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Kayla Daniel.
Mr. President,
Senator Pangilinan is
just
recognized.
a clarification, point of inquiry, Mr. President. May I know why the Philippine citizenship measures are being referred to the Committee on Rules? Yes,
Yes,
that's
Mr.
correct.
President,
Well,
if it's not yet
usually-
approved in the House.
Yeah,
we
usually
send it to
private
committee.
bills are referred to the...
Subject to
Before the,
origination.
yes.
Origination clause of the...
Once the House approves their version, then the Justice Committee will, it will be referred to the Justice Committee. Thank you.
It will be referred to the Justice Committee thereafter, no? Okay.
Once we receive, yes, sir. Sa 1678 na.
All right.
1678, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Kayla Daniel Mercado Hansen by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1679, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Emma Rose Valenzuela Tovar by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1680, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Nia Liza Harrison by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1681, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Nicolas Bungal Marcanish by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1682, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Anthony Bungal Marcanish Jr. by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1683, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Luan Jacob Erlandson by Senator Cayetano P.
To the Committee on Rules.
1684, an act strengthening animal welfare protection by recognizing animal sentence and imposing stricter penalties for violation, amending for the purpose RA number 8485 as amended by RA number 10631, otherwise known as the Animal Welfare Act of 1998 by Senator Hontiveros.
To the Committee on Agriculture.
1685, an act lowering the rates of tax on taxable income of individuals, further amending Section 24 of RA number 8424, otherwise known as the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended by Senator Estrada.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
1686, an act providing for a national sports tourism program, creating the National Sports Tourism Council, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes.
To the Committee on Sports, Tourism, and Finance.
1687, an act establishing the Sierra Madre Conservation Authority to strengthen the conservation and protection of the Sierra Madre Mountain Range and for other purposes by Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Environment, Cultural Communities, and Finance. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd just like to acknowledge we have several guests today in the gallery. Guest of Senator Bam Aquino from the province of Leyte, Attorney Carlo Loreto, Board Member Wilson Uy, Attorney Ronan Christian Reposar, Board Member Raisa Villasin, Attorney Mildred Joyke, and Board Member Marie Catherine Cabigting, Board Member Alan Ang, Board Member F. Elmer Frederico Codilla, Board Member Flaviano Centino, Jr., Board Member Michael Carey, Board Member Maria Cristina Jimenez, and Board Member MJ Lumen. Mr. President, we also have guests of Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Commissioner Lorenzo Reyes of the Legal Education Board, Commissioner Voltaire San Pedro, the Legal Education Board, and Justice Carl Miranda of the Sandigan Bayan. We have also guests of Senator Sherwin Gatchalian Former Congressman, my kababayan from Bacolod, Monico Puentabella, Mr. President. Is here with us?
Yes, thank you.
And we also have, Mr. President, guest of Senator Bongo, the Philippine para chess team. And we'd like to take note that our Paralympics or Para-ASEAN Games players and athletes won the best finish ever in an ASEAN Para Games in Thailand with 45 goals recently. And we'll also be adopting a resolution a bit later congratulating all of them. We also have students from the University of Caloocan, I think are here with us, and guests of Senator Bamakino, guests of Senator Alan Cayetano, local officials of Zamboanga del Sur, Calauit Mayor Arcel Antojado, Mucha Mayor Lorimir Adasa, and Rizal Mayor Marisa Mangisaka, and Manigsaka, and also Gumaca Quezon Mayor Webster Letargo is here with us. And finally, Mr. President, guest of Senator J.V. Ejercito, Vice Mayor Michael Villano of Taal, Batangas.
We welcome all our guests to the Senate this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Majority
Mr.
Leader.
President. Mr. President, with the permission of the body, I move that we consider PS Resolution number 262. This is a resolution expressing our highest commendation and gratitude to Senate Secretary Renato Bantug Jr. for his dedicated service to the Senate of the Philippines, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of PS Resolution 262 is in order.
May I be recognized to sponsor the resolution, Mr. President?
You may sponsor the measure,
Mr. President.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my dear colleagues. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, Secretary Ray Bantug Jr. began his career at the Senate of the Philippines in 1995 as the staff of Senator Franklin M. Drilon, becoming the latter's Chief of Staff and most trusted confidant upon his election as Senate President in the 16th Congress. Secretary Bantug, known as R&B to the Secretariat, concurrently served in the 17th Congress as Chief of Staff of then Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon and as Executive Director for Legislation, expertly balancing and excelling in two distinct and equally important roles with his trademark brand of professionalism. His appointment as Senate Secretary, which was my choice, Mr. President, in my time in the 19th Congress, though unexpected even by himself, was deeply deserved, earned through years of consistent and quiet excellence and affirmed by clear-eyed judgment and wisdom of the Senate President who selected him. That happened to be me pala. Secretary Bantug has devoted half of his life to the service of the Senate, distinguished by a rare institutional memory and mastery of Senate rules and procedures, expertise which seeks neither audience nor applause, yet has proven indispensable to the work of legislation. He exemplifies a profound sense of accountability in public service, consistently assuming responsibility in moments of difficulty and taking on the weight of institutional challenges with quiet resolve, providing a safe and steady anchor to both the leadership of the Secretariat during some of the most challenging periods of the recent Senate history, always ensuring that the Senate processes are grounded in rules, order, constitutional discipline, thus helping preserve the institution's credibility amidst public scrutiny. His brilliance is not performative but exacting, fully appreciated only by those fortunate enough to work closely with him and to discern on the nuances of his work and words. For even when questions were complex and solutions were elusive, his answers possessed a clarity rendered the difficult intelligible and the contentious manageable. Mr. President, while he was working as the secretary, during my time as the Senate President, he was a very humble man. He never wanted to take credit. He didn't even want to be in the limelight when he needed to be as Secretary of the Senate. He led with trust rather than pressure, always by example, seldom imposing deadlines, confident with the ability to deliver of those under his supervision, and remaining ever ready to step in when necessary. Not out of impatience, but from a clear understanding of the work required and a determination to see it properly done. He served as secretary under 3 Senate presidents, but with equal zeal and dedication. He served under myself, Senator Zubiri, and Senate President Chis Escudero, and Senate President Vicente Soto. This is born not of loyalty that shifts, but of one that endures for the institution that he loves, and out of gratitude for the immense trust reposed in him by the Senate leaders and members who retained this council. He understands that the office of the Secretary is never about prominence or personal acclaim, but about stewardship, ensuring continuity, safeguarding institutional integrity, and allowing the Senate to work and proceed with dignity and rigor through every tide and season. His journey, and in closing, his journey, Mr. President, stands as a testament to the perseverance and humility, rising from every adversity to become one of the most trusted custodians of Senate procedure, practice, and tradition. Embodying resilience and service beyond self, demonstrating that character and excellence are forged not in ease, but in deliberate choice, but in the deliberate choice to always serve with integrity, competence, and discipline. Saludo po ako sa iyo, Secretary. You deserve our sincerest appreciation and commendation in this chamber for your loyalty to the institution and generosity in sharing his experience and expertise. Now, Mr. President, once again, we'd like to thank with deepest gratitude our Senate Secretary Ray Bantug for his service. Mabuhay po. May we recognize, Mr.
Secretary
President.
Villanueva.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. The good book, the Holy Bible, talks about giving honor to whom honor is due, Mr. President. And so please allow me to just give a very short manifestation on our dear Secretary Bantug. I would like to put into the records of this August Chamber that I would like to join all the members of this chamber and all Senate employees in expressing our deepest gratitude and profound appreciation to our beloved Secretary, Renato Bantug Jr., for his long, faithful, and exemplary service to this institution. For nearly 3 decades, Secretary Bantug has devoted his professional life to strengthening the legislative process and advancing the work of this chamber. Prior to his election as Secretary of the Senate in July 2022, parang kailan lang yun na Sec Bantug, he served in different crucial roles, including ED for legislation, acting Senate legal counsel, the chief of staff of our former Senate President Frank Drilon, etc. Mr. President, during my time as the majority leader of this chamber, my office and this representation worked closely with Secretary Bantug, and I can honestly say that I personally witnessed firsthand his exemptional command of Senate rules, procedure, and institutional practice. In fact, Mr. President, in moments when the legislative agenda was demanding and the plenary calendar unforgiving, his steady leadership in the Secretariat ensured that the work of this August Chamber proceeded with order, with efficiency, and fairness, Mr. President. Ang maayos po, Ginoong Pangulo, na takbo ng ating mga sesyon ay hindi lamang talaga dahil po bunga ng mga desisyon ng mga mambabatas. Ito po ay kundi dahil na rin sa masusing paghahanda at tahimik na paggabay ng Secretariat's Office sa pamumuno po ni Secretary Bantug. And Secretary, it comes from the bottom of my heart. Maraming salamat. Gusto kong sabihin, corny pa rin ang jokes mo. At sa mga panahon na, but seriously speaking, sa mga panahon na ang Senado ay humaharap sa marami o mahahalagang deliberasyon at sensitibong usapin, napatunayan po natin na ang kanyang payo ni Secretary Bantug ay palaging hinuhubog ng batas, ng precedents, at higit sa lahat ng malasakit sa institusyon na ito. Tunay pong Ginoong Pangulo, siya ay isang ehemplo ng paniniwalang ang paglilingkod sa bayan ay isang sagradong pananagutan. Mr. President, I'm thus reminded of the words Galatians in the book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 9, which reflect the importance and dignity of such faithful service. Ang sabi po doon, and I quote, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due time we will reap if we do not give up." Indeed, Secretary Bantug's steadfast commitment exemplifies this particular scripture in the Bible. For through consistent perseverance in doing good, he has helped nurture a Senate that serves with integrity and purpose. Sec RNB, maraming salamat. Thank you for a job well done and service faithfully rendered. Maraming salamat at naway patuloy ka pang pagpalain ng ating Panginoong Diyos. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. God bless us all.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr.
Senator
President, we'd
Leader.
like to also recognize Senator Sherwin Gatchalian to co-sponsor
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, allow me to personally thank Secretary Ray Bantug. Maraming salamat, Ray, sa lahat ng tulong mo sa akin. At hingi na rin ako ng pasensya kung nagte-text ako ng Saturday, Sunday, weekends, holidays. Pag nagte-text ako ng 6 a.m., 11 p.m., pasensya na. Kayo ni Mavic, madalas kong dinidisturbo kung mayroong mga questions na hindi ko masagot under the rules or legal questions. In fact, sa sobrang paborito ko kayo, gumawa tayo ng group na tayong tatlo lang ang members na wala ng ibang senador or si Senate President di members para kayo na lang ang guguluhin ko. But Ray, I would like to express my appreciation na sa maraming mga questions sa isip ko at kahit anong oras kitang iniistorbo, lagi mo akong sinasagot kaagad. In fact, kung hindi masagot, binabalikan mo ako with precise answers, especially on legal matters and also on matters under the rules. At na-appreciate ko yung candor mo, yung candidness mo pag talagang yung topic natin ay complicated at kailangan pa ng further research. I'll never forget your advice on nung fina-file natin yung Malampaya case. I think that was one of the more complex events that I have undertaken, and I appreciate your advice on how to move forward with that. And na-appreciate ko rin yung mga advice mo tungkol sa impeachment. Of course, I remember asking you about those things, many things. And I appreciated that you gave me precise answers and also honest answers. So with that, I wish you all the best on your next endeavor. Ewan ko kung bakit ka magre-retire, batang-bata ka pa. No? But I wish you all the best and maraming salamat sa iyong serbisyo. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Our deepest gratitude to Secretary Bantug for his dedicated service. May we, Mr. Majority Leader, make all the members of the Senate co-sponsors of the
Yes,
resolution.
Mr. President, but I have to beg the indulgence of our colleagues. Marami pang gustong tumayo at
Okay.
magbigay po ng pugay sa ating mahal na Secretary. May we recognize, but yes, Mr. President, let's make all members of the Senate, of course,
Yes.
as co-authors and co-sponsors of this measure. May we recognize
Senator Lauren
Legarda.
Legarda is recognized.
Hindi po ako nakahanda ng isang seconding speech, pero galing po sa puso ang aking pasasalamat kay Attorney Bantug. Kalo ko po, ako na ang pinakamatagal dito or baka si Senate President, pero ikaw pa ay 1995. So nakita na niya ang hugis ng politika at ng Senado mula pa ng panahong yung ang maaabiso ko sa inyong retirement na hindi ko naman alam kung talagang magre-retire ay siguro isulat nyo lahat ng inside story ng Senado mula nung 1995, lalo na yung kaisa-isang pinakamatagal na rito, higit pa sa'yo, isa lang yan. Yung nakaupo sa taas nyo nung 1992. Hindi ko po sinasabi na yung ipasa kahapon sa amendments na geriatric law ay para sa nakaupo sa harap nyo o sa akong nakatayo dito na 66 today o sa inyong magre-retiro na ayon kay Majority Leader ay bata pa kayo sa akin. Kaya alam kong hindi pa kayo magre-retiro. Salamat po. Seriously now. Thank you for guiding the Senate through how many Senate presidents and how many Congresses, seeing how many impeachment processes and all the difficult times in our national life. You've been our guiding post. You've been very dedicated Senate public servant. I know that there's much more that you can share with us as well. Thank you for the leadership that you've done for the more than thousands of Senate officers and staff. In behalf of one of the elders in the Senate mula noong 1998, maraming salamat po, Attorney Bantog. At nagsisi ako, hindi ako tumatawag o nag-text ng Sabado-Linggo. Kala ko kasi nerd na ako. Mas nerd pa pala si Finance Chair Senator Sherwin. Nahihiya nga ako pag weekend, just a few times I would text or call you or beyond 8 p.m. I did not know he is much worse than me. But babawi po ako, pwede na pala ngayon the next few days man lang, pati weekend magtanong. Thank you very much.
Yes, and just for the record, I made a disclosure yesterday about not benefiting from the geriatric law. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, may we recognize our distinguished colleague, Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Ako po ay gusto ko lamang po magpasalamat ng buong puso at kaluluwa kay Secretary Bantog sapagkat sa hindi po kaalaman ng karamihan sa una po nating pagkikita sa opisina po ni Senator Drilon. Ito po yung panahon na inaayos po yung BARM, tungkol po sa BARM. At hindi po ako naharap ni Senator Drilon pero ako po'y binigyan nyo ng kape, binigyan nyo po ng cookies. Ako po ay kinausap po ninyo. At hindi ko po makakalimutan kasi dahil nagkaroon din po kami ng hidwaan ni Senator Drilon. Pero kayo po yung nagpakita sa akin ng pagiging totoong tao. At nung ako po ay dumating dito, at kayo po yung naupo dyan, natakot po ako. Sabi ko, nako, eto na yata. Wala na yata akong maipapasang batas. Pero sa panahon po ninyo, doon po ako nagkaroon ng napakaraming batas na napumasa. At katunayan po, kayo po ang lagi naming ginagambala ni Attorney Jurado sa mga bagay na hinihingi po namin ng advice. Kaya sa totoo lamang po, ang inyo pong serbisyo ay wala pong halong politika. Kayo po ang serbisyo po ninyo talagang para sa taong bayan. At kami pong lahat, lalo na po ako, ang una-una nyo pong natulungan. Kaya, Secretary Bantog, maraming salamat po. Hindi ko po makakalimutan ang ginawa nyo po sa akin. Maraming salamat.
Mr. President, may we recognize Senator Jingo Estrada.
Senator Jingo Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, please allow this representation to co-sponsor proposed Senate Resolution number 262, expressing highest commendation and gratitude to Senate Secretary Renato Bantog, Jr., for his unwavering service to the Philippine Senate. Secretary Bantog truly worked his way up through the ranks. For nearly 32 years working in the Senate, he started his career in 1995 as a supervising legislative staff officer in the office of former Senate President Franklin Drilon. Over the years, he took on more challenging roles, becoming Legislative Director in 2003, Executive Director for Legislation from 2004 to 2022, and even serving as Acting Senate Legal Counsel in 2010. He later served as Chief of Staff to the Senate President from 2013 to 2016, to the Senate President Pro Tem from 2016 to 2017, and to the Senate Minority Leader from 2017 to 2022. Today, he continues to serve as the Secretary of the Senate in the Philippines, a position he has held since 2022. In a world of shifting politics and leadership change, Secretary Bantog projects a steady and calm but committed presence and leadership. His experience, institutional memory, and technical expertise earned the trust of senators he served in various Congresses. 32 years in the government, particularly in the Senate, is truly a lifetime of service. Kinikilala ng buong Senado, kasama ng mga kawani nito, ang serbisyo mo, Secretary Bantog. Thank you, Secretary R&B, for your dedication and service to the Senate and to our nation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, we recognize Senator Bam Aquino.
Senator Bam Aquino is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, di rin po tayo prepared with a written speech pero nais ko lang pong mag-share din tungkol kay Attorney Ray. Pinag-usapan na po ang kanyang professionalism, pinag-usapan na po ang kanyang excellence, pinag-usapan na po ang kanyang kakayanan. Ang isa po sigurong hindi pa napag-uusapan masyado yung kanyang kindness, no? Marami ho dito alam naman na matagal rin po tayong wala sa Senado, 6 na taon. At sa mga panahong yon, kapag may kailangan po dito sa Senado, may kailangan i-clarify, may kailangan pong asikasuhin, si Attorney Ray was there. Kahit wala na po tayo sa Senado sa taong 2019 to 2025, Attorney Ray's kindness was always there for myself and my staff. Kapag meron pong kailangan tulong, hindi po siya nag-aatubili na tumulong. He never hesitated to support all of us. And siguro po, as a testament today, masasabi ko po, Attorney Ray, I wish you all of the best in your new endeavors, in your next endeavors. At makakaasa kayo na yung tulong na binigay niyo po sa amin, ganun din po yung pagmamahal namin sa inyo. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Maraming salamat.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, last but not the least is Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Senator Risa Ontiveros, recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Secretary Bantug is a true professional, one whose dedication and integrity have earned the trust of generations of senators. As the keeper of the Senate's institutional memory, he embodies the continuity of this institution, preserving its traditions while guiding it steadily through moments of change. A master of the Senate rules, he applies them with wisdom, fairness, and quiet authority. Never for advantage, but always in the service of order, deliberation, and the dignity of the Senate. Nung minority senators po kami, nina Senator Frank, Senator Kiko, Senator Bam, at yung iba pa naming mga kasama noon, Sec. Ray helped guide the minority in principled opposition, cognizant of the rules and, at the same time, committed to the highest principles of justice for the country. Through his work, he has strengthened not only our proceedings, but the institution itself. Marami pong salamat sa iyo, Sec. Ray. Hindi ka namin malilimutan.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. With
Yes.
that, Mr.
Majority
President,
Leader.
and all members are made authors and co-authors of this measure, I move that we approve PS Resolution number 262 honoring and expressing our deepest commendations and gratitude to Secretary Renato N. Bantug Jr. for his outstanding work and service to the Senate of the Philippines. I so move.
Any objection? Chair hears none. PS Resolution 262 is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President, to have a
Yes.
photo opportunity with our dear friend?
Yes, session suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, also for adoption today, we have with us athletes from the ASEAN Para-Olympics, or Para-Games rather, Para-ASEAN Para-Games. So I move that we also consider proposed Senate Resolution number 263, taking consideration PS Resolution number 268 and 273. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of 268 and 273 is in order. The Secretary will read the title of the measure without prejudice into inserting into the records the content of the said resolution.
Resolution congratulating and commending the Philippine delegation to the 13th ASEAN Para Games for achieving the country's best ever medal haul and for bringing honor and pride to the Filipino people.
Majority Leader.
You want to sponsor first? While we're awaiting the principal sponsor, Mr. President, Senator Bongo, may we recognize a co-sponsor?
Yes, of course.
Okay. May I just ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President, to wait for the sponsor? I thought he was in the floor, but
Session suspended.
Mr. President, we once again recognize our distinguished colleague, Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo, to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Natawa si Senator JB, nakita niya si Congressman Yap sa likod. Akala niya siya na magsasalita. Anyway, ano yan? Mayaman yan, may mas mayaman yan, may pampaderma. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. As chairperson of the Committee on Sports, it is with great pride and honor that I sponsor this Senate resolution honoring the Philippine delegation who have competed and showed exemplary performance in the 13th ASEAN Para Games held in Thailand. Team Philippines delivered a commendable and inspiring performance, bolstered by an impressive haul of 45 gold medals. Our delegation proudly finished fourth overall, affirming the country's growing strength and competitiveness in para sports at the regional level. Kahit po na may karamdaman sila, kapansanan rather. It is our best finish ever in the multi-sporting event. Beyond the gold medals, the Philippine delegation also secured 37 silver medals and 52 bronze medals, bringing the total medal count to 134. This remarkable achievement reflects not only athletic excellence, but also the depth, resilience, and fighting spirit of para-athletes across various sporting disciplines. With that, I express my warm regards and sincere appreciation to the entire Philippine delegation who take part in the 13th edition of the ASEAN Para Games. With us today, it is our chess delegation, which is one of the sports that garnered the most medals in this competition, particularly chess master-elect Dari Bernardo emerged as the Philippines' most bemedaled athlete with 6 gold medals. But allow me to commend each and every one of you for exemplifying hard work and dedication, it is also worth noting that this year's delegation in the ASEAN Para Games was composed of 216 athletes, coaches, and officials, a clear testament to our nation's commitment to inclusive sports development and meaningful participation in international competitions. Their collective effort, sacrifice, and perseverance brought honor to the country and inspiration to millions of Filipinos. Ang karangalan at tagumpay na inyong dinala sa ating bansa ay mananatiling nakatatak sa kasaysayan ng Philippine sports. Naging simbolo kayo ng lakas at inspirasyon sa ating mga kababayan at patuloy na nagbibigay pag-asa sa gitna ng mga hamon at pagsubok. For my part, I filed Senate Bill 407, which aims to provide our athletes with a disability to be recognized on equal footing as other national athletes by ensuring that they receive fair and just incentives for their achievements. This amendment will further promote inclusivity and equality in the Philippine sports. We plan to sponsor this measure in plenary in the coming weeks at sana po'y masuportahan natin ito dahil ang daladala nilang karangalan sa atin na bansa ay parehas naman po sa mga regular or elite athletes. Pinaghirapan rin po nila yan at hindi naman po nila kasalanan na yung iba sa kanila pinanganak na may kapansanan. I am beyond proud to have witnessed that our Filipino athletes are becoming more and more competitive in international sporting competitions as we are getting more consistent results. Since assuming the chairmanship of the Committee on Sports in 2019, we have seen the country secured its first ever gold medal at the Tokyo 2020 Games and followed it up with a twin gold victory at the 2000 Paris Olympics, achieving an unprecedented feat in the nation's sporting history. Dati po, kulela tayo, wala tayong ginto. Sa maalala ko, silver lang po ang pinakamataas na ating nakamit. Ngayon, meron na tayong ginto. First ever noong 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Patuloy din ang hosting natin ng prestigious international competitions tulad ngayon sa World Tennis Association Philippine Women's Open. We must further promote and support sports tourism to create jobs and investment, promote national pride, and position our country more visibly in the global stage. Unti-unti na pong nagbubunga ang mga pinagpaguran at pagsasakripisyo ng ating mga Pilipinong atleta sa kanilang iba't ibang larangan ng sports. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, ako po'y nakakasiguro that our country will become a stronger contender in future competitions and we will be dubbed as a sports powerhouse in Asia. Basta magkaisa lang po ang ating mga Philippine Sports Commission, Philippine Olympic Committee, Philippine Paralympic Committee at ang private sector para sa kapakanan ng mga atleta. Pag nagsama-sama po ito, nagkasundo, nagtutulungan, malayo po ang mararating ng ating mga atleta. With the recent development po na meron na pong Supreme Court ruling with finality yung matatanggap ng sa National Sports Development Fund, sana po'y magamit itong pondo sa tama at masuportahan po ang ating mga atleta na hindi lang po sila umaasa sa Kongreso sa mga karagdagang pondo. Importante po magtrabaho po ang ating Philippine Sports Commission, Philippine Olympic Committee, mga NSA. Dito nga kanina si former Commissioner Monico Puentebella. Parati po siya ang nagko-comment rin po na sa mga reklamo niya sa kanilang association. Sabi ko nga, pag nagsama-sama at nagtutulungan ang NSA at ang PSC, ang Philippine Olympic Committee, malayo pong mararating ng ating mga atleta. Iyon po ang dapat gawin. Ang ating mga atleta po ay dapat mag-compete lang po. Wala na silang dapat isipin. Suportado sila sa equipments, moral support, pagkain, at wala na silang dapat isipin pa tuwing competition just to focus on their competition. Our Filipino athletes have proven time and again of their undying devotion and even unified the country through sports, thus upholding the true spirit of patriotism. Win or lose, pusong Pinoy ang panalo. As your chairperson of the Committee on Sports, rest assured I will continue to pursue sports development programs and initiatives that will promote the welfare of our athletes to help restore our rightful place in the world of sports. At isang paraan rin po na ilayo natin ang mga kabataan sa masasamang bisyo, get into sports, stay away from drugs to keep us healthy and fit. Before I end, I wish also to convey the intention of Senator Pia Cayetano to co-author this resolution. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President, at mabuhay po ang ating mga atletang Pilipino. Mabuhay po ang ating mga para-athletes. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Mr. President, we recognize Senator Joel Villanueva.
Senator Joel Villanueva is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, as the author of proposed Senate Resolution number 268, we stand in gratitude as we honor the Philippine para-athlete team for their exemplary performance at the 13th ASEAN Para Games held in Thailand from January 20 to 26, 2026. Mr. President, the ASEAN Para Games is more than just a sporting event. It is a testament to the excellence, discipline, and indomitable spirit of para-athletes across Southeast Asia. This year, our Filipino delegation has truly exemplified these values, delivering the country's best performance in the history of our participation in the Games. With a remarkable total of 134 medals, 45 golds, 37 silvers, and 52 bronzes, the Philippines has surpassed its previous best medal haul from the 2023 Games, marking a significant milestone for Philippine para-sports. Ginoong Pangulo, hindi lamang po ito usapin ng dami ng medalya. Ang ika-4 na pwesto ng Pilipinas sa overall medal standings ay ang pinakamataas na ranggo na ating nakamit mula nang magsimula tayong lumahok sa ASEAN Para Games noong 2001. Isa po rito ay nagpapakita ng malinaw at patuloy na pag-angat ng ating mga atleta at ng programa ng ating Sports Commission para sa ating para-sports ng ating bansa. Our athletes' exceptional performances across multiple disciplines have also showcased the depth and balance of their competitive edge. Athletics contributed 16 gold medals, swimming brought home 13 golds, and chess added 12 golds to our historic medal tally. Para po sa ating mga para-athletes, your journey to the ASEAN Para Games was not easy. We know that. And there were sacrifices, long hours of training, moments of doubt, and countless challenges. Yet, you pressed on. You chose perseverance over surrender, excellence over excuses, and service to country over personal comfort. Dahil po dito, hindi lamang po kayo mga kampyon sa palakasan. Kayo po ay mga ehemplo ng pag-asa para sa ating minamahal na bayan. Sa ating pong mga coaches, trainers, medical teams, families and supporters, the Philippine Sports Commission, and the Philippine Paralympic Committee, we salute you. And again, thank you for all your sacrifices. As a nation, we commit to continue supporting para-sports and all our athletes because when we invest in you, we invest in character, resilience, and national pride. Kaya sinusuportahan po natin ang ating komite ng sports dito sa Senado sa pangunguna ni Senator Bongo at sa mga kasamahan nating sumusuporta para po sa ating mga atleta. Muli, kami po ay bumabati at nagpapasalamat sa ating mga para-athletes. Maraming salamat po sa karangalang inyong iniuwi at sa inspirasyong inyong ibinibigay sa aming lahat. Higit po sa lahat, maraming salamat sa pagpapaalala sa atin na sa pagkakaisa, pananampalataya at pagsusumikap, walang imposible para sa mga Pilipino. Mabuhay ang ating mga para-athletes, mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo, at pagpalain tayong lahat ng ating Panginoong Diyos.
Mr. President, we recognize Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Una po sa lahat, nais ko pong bigyan pagpupugay ang atin pong chairman ng sports, Senator Bongo, sapagkat sa kanya pong patnubay, sa kanya po tayo nagkaroon ng napakadaming medalya sa sports. At siyempre po, tayo din po ay nagpupugay din kay Senator Pia Cayetano sa kanyang patnubay din po. Nasabi na po ang magagandang talumpati para bigyan ng parangal ang ating mga atleta, akin na lamang pong dadagdagan. Sana po, ang ipinakita ng ating mga para-athlete dito sa ASEAN Para Games ay maging inspirasyon sa ating mga Pilipino na ang kanila pong limitasyon ay maging inspirasyon nating lahat para tayo po ay manaig din at magtagumpay hindi lamang sa ASEAN, kung hindi sa buong mundo bilang mga Pilipino. Kung tayo po ay tunay na titindig na magkakasama at masasabi ko pong solid, ay hindi po imposible na makamit natin ang ginawang tagumpay ng ating mga para-athlete. Kayo po ang aming inspirasyon. Kayo po ang magbibigay ng tamang inspirasyon sa aming lahat. Na sa kabila po ng inyong limitasyon ay itinaas niyo po ang bandila ng Pilipinas sa isang matatawag po nating labanan ng utak, pisikal, at higit sa lahat, moral na labanan. Kaya po, tanggapin niyo po ang aking pagpupugay sa inyo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, our distinguished colleagues, Senator Lapid and Senator Jingo Estrada, would like to just insert to the records their sponsorship speeches.
So inserted.
Therefore, with no member wishes to or sponsor the measure, interpolate, or make amendments, I move that we adopt Proposed Senate Resolution number 263, taking into consideration PS Resolution number 268 and 273. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing on. Proposed Senate Resolution 263, taking into consideration 268 and 273, is hereby approved.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May I ask for a minute suspension?
Session suspended.